Now, as I mentioned, the more recent rulemaking that came out was the report and order in the no-code proceeding. This is sometimes called the no-code proceeding because it's that darn 5-word per minute code test that received all the attention. But the decision also de facto, and I want you to know I got that word from a lawyer because I don't speak Italian, restructured the license classes because it changed the privileges for a couple 100,000 licensees. This decision resolved 18 petitions for rulemaking that we had, and the requests, as most of you are aware, were pretty much based on the rule changes that were adopted to the international radio regulations at the World Radio Conference in 2003. The two major rule changes were that it eliminated the Morse code requirement for the Technician Plus, the General, and the Amateur Extra Class Operator licenses, and it authorized Technician Class licensees the same HF operating privileges that Novice and Technician Plus class licensees have. When the rule first came out, it was amazing to hear some of the stuff on the air to the effect of, well, I haven't read it, but I know all the technicians were automatically upgraded to general. I'm sitting there listening to that and said, well, I have read that and I don't know that.
How many of you remember Swan transceivers? Boy, they were the latest and greatest, weren't they? The Swan 500 and the Swan 50, well, let's take the 350. It has 12 little knobs and one big knob. So does the 500, and so does the 250. So then take this QST magazine about 40 years later. Let's look on the back. TS 570, it's got 46 little knobs, one big knob. And you look in the last page there, there's the 2000. And I remember last year I heard a guy behind me when I was looking at it saying, that's so big and pretty, I couldn't get that in the house unnoticed. I thought that was a good remark. By the way, if you ever hear that I'm dead, race to Gettysburg to my house because every piece of equipment in my house cost about $150. You can get some good deal. But this FT2000 has 75 little knobs, but it's still got one big knob right here. There's a reason for that.
The question is in this whole discussion back and forth with various amateurs about whether a digital voice D-SAR repeater or a P25 repeater is really a repeater, many have taken the comments from you to believe that in fact it's not a repeater because there's an inherent half-second or three-quarter-second delay. Could you care to clarify that?
Sure, and I'm really glad you answered that question. I worked up your answer yesterday.